Racism, mental illness, or moral evil. Racism is often described in familiar ways. It is called prejudice, bias, hatred, ignorance, discrimination, or ideology. All of these terms matter, but none of them fully captures the depth of what racism does to the human mind and moral imagination. They describe its features, but they do not always explain its force. To reduce racism to a misunderstanding is to soften it. To call it mere ignorance is to suggest that more information alone could cure it. To frame it only as inherited custom or political conditioning is to risk overlooking the intensity with which it is defended. Racism is not simply a gap in knowledge. It is often an active investment in hierarchy, a refusal of empathy, and a willingness to distort reality in order to preserve power, innocence, comfort, or identity. This book asks a difficult question. Should racism be understood as a form of mental disturbance, a moral failure, or some combination of the two? The question is provocative on purpose, but the purpose is not spectacle, it is clarity. If a person repeatedly denies the humanity of others, justifies unequal treatment, rewrites history to protect domination, and remains emotionally untouched by the suffering their beliefs help produce, then we are dealing with something deeper than bad manners or outdated opinions. We are confronting a damaged orientation to reality and to other human beings. And yet the language of mental illness must be handled carefully. Not every act of cruelty is evidence of psychiatric disorder. Not every racist belief is clinical. To medicalize racism too quickly may blur responsibility. It may even offer a shelter to those who should instead be held morally accountable for what they think, endorse, and do. A society must be careful not to turn evil into diagnosis when diagnosis can be used to soften judgment. That is why this book does not offer easy conclusions. It does not claim that racism fits neatly into one category. Instead, it explores racism as a pattern of thought, feeling, social conditioning, moral disengagement, historical enforcement, and psychic investment. It examines the possibility that racism can be both structurally rewarded and internally disordered. It considers the idea that whole cultures can become so habituated to racial hierarchy that the abnormal begins to appear natural. This matters because language shapes response. If racism is treated only as ignorance, we answer it with education. If it is treated only as individual hatred, we answer it with condemnation. If it is treated only as a system, we may fail to examine the emotional attachments that keep it alive inside ordinary people. But if racism involves serious distortions in perception, conscience, and relational capacity, then we may need a fuller vocabulary for confronting it. The aim of this book is not to excuse racism by pathologizing it. It is to investigate it more honestly. Why do some people need racial superiority? Why do others defend racist systems even when they deny racist intent? Why is the suffering of some groups so easily minimized, rationalized, or forgotten? Why does truth so often fail against racial myth? These are not small questions. They reach into history, psychology, politics, morality, memory, fear, identity, and power. They force us to ask not only what racism does to its victims, but what it does to those who practice it, inherit it, protect it, and benefit from it. This is not a book about easy comfort, it is a book about moral seriousness. It is about naming distortion where distortion exists. It's about questioning whether a society that normalizes racial devaluation can still call itself healthy. And it is about refusing the lie that racism is ever shallow, harmless, or accidental in its effects. If racism disfigures perception, deadens empathy, and trains people to live comfortably beside injustice, then we must ask more of ourselves than denunciation. We must ask what kind of mind, what kind of culture, and what kind of moral world makes racism possible in the first place.